Welcome back to part 2. This is the second gin glass, and first of all I am filling in the engraving of the Highland cow. I have a rather large diamond burr, which I've just changed to a small diamond burr. I was using the large one in the horns because I wanted that area. I didn't want any little lines, just in one quick, swift movement you can get a nice thick bottom end of the horn. And then now the small one for all the smaller areas, including the top of the horn. Now sadly I have engraved the halftone across this entire little face without recording. So what I did was just take a Dura White and run over the various areas that you can see I'm pointing out with this Dura White. And then I went over with a brown rubber and just added some softer areas, some darker areas over where I engraved with the Dura White. I think I'll have to do you a full-size Highland cow very soon because they are such a lovely subject. But it was very simple, literally just running over the whole diamond engraved area. Any blank area of blank glass within the face, I went lightly over it with the Dura White. And then, of course, with the brown rubber wherever I wanted shadow. This is a rat's tail, and I'm running around adding some finer details. Rat's tail diamond has diamond dust going down quite a long way, and it's a lovely fine burr to use for small details. On to the two little Scottish dancers, the little dancing figures. They look extremely energetic. This is a little diamond, probably a little large for the area. Now, the kilt is an interesting one. Without being too fussy, you just want to give the impression of a tartan. Filling in the arms and legs. Now, this is probably rather too much of a large burr for those tiny features on the face. But of course I'm trying to do this rather swiftly. And also I'm quite used to using that burr, but if you are a beginner, do work on the tiny features with a very much smaller burr. That was a Dura White, and I'm just adding some half tones into the hair. Now, of course, the tartan, again, just dotting around some half tones to denote the different colours in the tartan. And back to the rat's tail for some highlights and teeny tiny little feature areas. The rat's tail's very good for hair. onto the little thistle. That was a diamond, and now I'm just running around with the brown rubber, but in actual fact it's not dark enough, so I've taken the big rubber wheel and created some dark areas which I will flick over with diamond. These being the hairy bits on the front. These are very, very small pictures, and really you're keeping the details to a minimum. And so here I have the rampant lion. Again, very, very small area to be working a full animal body. So really keeping it very simple. Diamond work first. Having said that, the heraldic animals are generally quite basic. But I love doing large heraldic animals, especially when they are incorporated in a massive coat of arms. That is one of my favourite subjects. This is a small diamond, and I'm using water. You may have noticed. I do like the roughness of the diamond work when it's worked dry, but it also is quite interesting to add a little combination of wet diamond work. It has a completely different texture to it. When you are engraving the claws of an animal like this, you do want to do the furthest one behind the ones in front. So make sure that you finish with engraving the ones further forward. That'll push the toe at the back into the background. Again, small diamond, and giving the face and the body a few more little details. Still not working deep, though every now and again I manage to get a little bit of depth out of it, but I certainly don't want to work deep with these two gin glasses because they are not thick enough, and so I don't want to weaken them at all with removing too much glass. I have a Dura white here, and I'm just adding in a little bit of variation of tone. And then out with the brown rubber. And I've got the rat's tail again to add in some finer detail. Right, so to the rugby ball. I'm starting off with a slightly larger diamond, and that's just mainly to fill in the larger areas. I had, as you can see, there's a little bit of a diamond work. The outer drawing went over the line a little bit, so I will have to adjust that in a moment. In fact, yes, I think I've already done that. I've just made the line on the top a little bit thicker, which now incorporates the sketch mark that was out of place, but good old Dura White will sort that out, no problem. So that is what I've got in the drill right now, is my magical Dura White. And without pressing too hard, it's such a magical burr. It's really interesting. You can see that when it's going in one particular direction, like the one it's going in now, it produces a darker line than when I am engraving back and forth, like in the middle there, because engraving in the opposite direction, it actually produces a lighter area. You'll get used to this the more you use this little burr. All these little pictures are really no more than very simple cartoons with a little bit of shading. So here I've got the Dura White, and I'm actually going in between those string lines, lace lines. It's not string, it's lace, or laces. The old-fashioned rugby ball. And a bit of brown rubber, just to soften the tone a little bit more. Okay, here is a yummy piece of shortbread. Using a diamond. It's a very simple shape. I can't say that in all my 41 years of engraving glass that I have ever engraved a piece of shortbread. Or, like I did on the other glass, a piece of whatever that cake was called. But yeah, quite an unusual subject to have to engrave. You can see I've just reminded myself where all those little spots were. I really did not have to leave those little round spaces because it's quite easy to put them back in with the Dura White, which is what I'm doing now. Soft grey rubber, just because I felt like it. And here I'm actually using a little darling, it's called, which is a teeny tiny diamond wheel, just to give it a bit of depth on the one side of those fork marks or prick marks on the shortbread. So next thing to do is sign both glasses, and then of course to give them a jolly good wash. I will just have another look over them and make sure nothing is standing out that's really bothering me, but they both look like rather good fun. 2 matching gin glasses with 12 different pictures. I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching, guys. You don't want to make a pair of glasses with 12 of anything that matches. See you in the next video. Bye for now.